I went to Stanford for my second shot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but we're back. Another episode of the podcast.
Hello, everybody.
It's been 1 week, or 2 weeks actually, because we didn't record last week. That's my bad.
No, it's all good.
We were watching Love Live, which got a second season. It's getting a second season, yay.
Woo!
You gotta see our gamer girl Rena and everyone else fucking sing and dance. Then we played Mario Party.
Yes.
Fucking Mario Party, which is super frustrating. I hate the NPCs. It's very hard. Or even on the normal difficulty, they fuck you over really hard with all the stars.
I finally beat my version last night. I got all the gems or some shit.
Yeah.
And unlocked all the characters, and boy, that wasn't really worth it.
It's right? Because like Donkey Kong and like Diddy Kong, like their dice kind of suck.
Well, I mean, like getting the characters was fine. Like I felt like that you kind of need to do that, but like getting all the gems and doing all the stupid bullshit,
it's not worth it.
It's totally not worth it.
That's totally fair.
I mean, some stuff you'll do naturally over time. Like there was one star where you just do all the maps in normal like party mode. It's like that's easy. You know, you do that normally. But it's like one of them is you have to do this thing called Challenge Road, where you have to do all the mini games in a path. Like you just do one after the other.
It basically is like the challenge road inside every Mario game where you kind of have to go like do super hard levels and like it's kind of unfair.
It's dumb because there's sometimes there'll be mini games that you haven't played yet that the game thinks you have, but you have no idea what to do, and so they won't give you instructions either.
Yeah, so it's a gauntlet kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet, and you kind of have to figure out how to do it. There was one stupid fucking raft one where I couldn't fit. I was like, what do I do?
Oh.
And I figured out you have to hold it like this, and like you have to hold it sideways and cycle it, like a paddle. But I was like doing this and doing that, and fucking
the jack off move.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some were bullshit because some had to do like some were luck based, and like I failed those occasionally, and I was like, okay, this is so fucking dumb. But yeah, like doing all the challenges, it just takes a long time, and it's not. If you're not doing it with friends, it's very boring. Like, doing the partner party, which is like the special mode for this series, where it's like, there's no path, it's just, you roll the dice and go a certain number of spaces.
Yeah. Which is one of the bitch ass things about Mario Party is that, because like this is the first time they included character dice.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's just like, I didn't want, because it gives an unfair advantage for a lot of things, which kind of fucks you over on all aspects at certain points.
I think it could be better, but I think for what it is, it's like, okay, I actually kind of prefer it over the old dice, where it's just like it goes up to 10, and like, didn't really, like, it gives a little more flavor, I think, to the characters, but like, I do think that they could tweak it a bit, because literally all it is like, is your character more safe or more risky?
It is like...
You either go Shy Guy, which is like all fours and zero,
or you go Bowser, and you have like
high risk,
-3, and like everything's either 8, 9, and 10, which is great. Well, on the plus side, it's like if you're just going for spaces, that's a fairly good dice.
If you want to get to the star as quick as possible, that you choose Bowser.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have to win the minigames.
You need to win the minigames in order to get coins, though.
Yeah, so if you're confident players will pick Bowser. But if you're playing it safe, then Shy Guy's the way to go.
Like 5 out of 6 sides are 4s, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah. It's literally like, I mean, if you roll a 0, then that's shit luck, my friend. But
yeah,
that's how it goes. And then I choose Hammer Bro because, you know, 3 5s, 2 1s, and +3 coins.
Coins is not bad.
Not bad. I actually like that a lot, and he's my favorite. So, but yeah, I mean, I think partner party's fun if you're doing it with someone else. It adds a new. Once again, it adds something new, and I don't think it's terrible. I think
it's just another mode that you have to play.
Yeah, it incorporates the dice better, I think, in partner party because like there's more space to move, and it's like you really have to play tactically with your partner, and it's kind of interesting how it goes, but yeah, no, it's just like that's the thing. It's like it's too shallow. I think Super Mario Party is like this was the game I was expecting to be like filled with DLC and shit.
But no, they're just like, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, and so all they added was a shitty online thing 3 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Something that shouldn't be included with the base game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And so now I'm like, all right, well.
But it's one of those things where it's like Mario Party and Smash. I do expect people to play in person more often than like online.
Yeah.
If you're playing Mario Party alone online, then you have something fucking wrong with you, in my opinion.
You're sad. I'm
sorry.
It
is very sad and depressing. If you play Smash online, you are a sad little man.
It's you are determined to do something.
What's that quote from Toy Story? That you're a sad, sad little man.
Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah.
Buzz says.
You are a sad, sad little man. It's very funny. Yeah, no, I overall I think Super Mario Party, let me clarify, is fun. But after like 4 hours, you're done with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you probably get more mileage out of Mario Kart with your friends.
The only thing
online.
Yeah, the only thing you want to do is get all the characters, and once you've done that, you're like,
it's like, what do I do now?
And then maybe if you're like me, go for all the gems.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you don't get much after that. All you do is you just see a couple of gems, and that's it. Like you get a little cutscene, and Bowser's like, "Good job," and you're like, "All right, that's it."
I feel like my favorite one was the Wii U version of Mario Party, just because it had a better game modes.
Oh yeah.
But like no one bought a fucking Wii U, so it's one of those days where it's just like people missed out on it.
I'm just waiting for the port. I mean, I'm just literally waiting for them to come up with a Mario Party bundle and just have all the previous Mario Party games from like, I don't know, even from 4 to onward. I'd be fine with that. Because honestly, it's like I just want to play the bullshit, you know? Like, I want to experience the bullshit that people have gone through previously. And
I guess that's one of the things, like, I would say, like, majority of these games aren't the worst that I've played out of Mario Party, because, like, there are some ones where, like, completely unfair, where it's completely based on, like, RNG and, like, what the computer wants you to do.
Absolutely. I think that's part of the charm, too, is that people want that dumb bullshit. Because you could be on top and you could lose it all.
Yeah.
Or you could be down in the dumps and still get your ass kicked. It's totally random. And I think that's what makes it so special. I think it's just because like, people will want to go through that frustrating like moment, because it's builds stories, I guess. But still, it's like...
do you really want to? It's like, do you want to deal with the bullshit and like ruin your entire day?
Yeah, but you know, I think that's games like Mario Party and Mario Kart are like that. You know, it's just like it's frustrating, but in the overall, it's pretty fun, and I'd go back to it. And and that's the problem with Super Mario Party, is that it's like it's fun but shallow. I think that's the best way to summarize. It's like it's got a cool base, and I was expecting them to like, here's a new map this month, or here's a new character. And I'd be totally fine with that.
I think a new map would be tough. I think new characters would be fine.
I think no. I mean they've got a setup where like it's smaller maps, so it's like they could do like they have like sort of like a block.
I think what they should have done was they should have done like a different variation of the original maps and make it more like, oh, here's like some alternate version of the
like a bigger version.
Like a bigger version of like the Bomb Cave or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's technically what Partner Party is about. It's just like the maps are slightly bigger and like there's more spaces to move.
Yeah, and
it is actually kind of fun because the rules of the map change. Where in Bob-omb, if you land on an event space, the timer will go off. But in Partner Party, it's like in the middle area where he is. If you land on any space that hasn't already been stepped on, dice will appear above your head, and it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you hit any, like if you say hit a 5, his counter, which I think starts at like 20 this time around, will go down by 5.
Okay.
So it's like if you land on it, it's a lot more risky, and it can happen more often, which is interesting. And like, but once you leave this area, you're fine. And it's kind of cool. And also with the ruins, like there's also spaces like that where if you like land on that long runway where it's like the boulders usually come from, if you land on a space there, a little like, you know, when you find a hidden block, a little like arrow thing will spin around, and if it lands on the white space, the boulder will come down. So like they slightly changed the rules for Partner Party, and I think that's definitely worth a look at if you want to play, if you want to find more fun and entertainment. But if you're just playing it for like the rhythm game or the raft game, that's a one-time thing. You're like, all right, I'm done. I think you want to play the raft game only for DK, and then the rhythm game, there's no reason to play the rhythm game other than the gem. That's it. Yeah. It's so short too. You only can play you only do
it three times. You already did it twice, and you're kind of just like, my arm's tired.
Yeah, dude, it's like the most strenuous shit, and it's like it ends so quickly.
I know. Because you do everything once, then you do it faster again, and then probably the third time you do it really, really fast, and then it's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You also have to play rhythm games in Challenge Road, which has like I was saying, like every single mini game that you play, they have it. So I'm like, oh great, the horse one, here we go. And I fucking failed at that one so many times. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I had to hit like 130. I'm like, this is dumb.
I just say Mario Party is one of those things where I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the overall jank of certain things, especially with motion controls, because motion controls is fucking shit.
Yeah, they're not great. I think that my favorite games would be Slapperazzi and games like that where you like...
Yeah, and the water gun one.
Yeah, the water gun one's great.
The fucking skee ball one's shit.
Which one was that?
The fish skee ball where it's like the mouth opens up and then...
Oh, yeah. You hate that one because you didn't figure it out. I figured that one out.
Because like, they didn't show the direction properly, because they showed them holding the the two like top buttons, right? The two like on like the bar where you have to slide off your Joy-Cons. They showed them touching that. I thought you had to squeeze that and throw it. Instead you have to hold your thumb up to the top ones and throw it like that. I'm like, well, how the fuck is that?
Well, I just use my pointer finger and just do it like that. But yeah, no, sometimes... Well, I do also... Another thing I like about this Mario Party is that you can actually practice in
the games, yeah.
In the beginning. I like that. I like that you can familiarize yourself with it. That's nice. I like that a lot. Toad can fuck off, though. There needs to be an option that you can stop Toad's instructions or like
just speed up,
skip, because it needs to... Sometimes it just needs to speed up. But I feel like they put that there just because they knew it would be way too short if they didn't have that, because otherwise, like, things would just be...
Yeah, because we would fucking, we cleared, like, one map within, like, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Which is 20 minutes under the recommended time of a Mario Party game.
Yeah, it's like, do the 10 turn, it's like, it's supposed to be 60 minutes, but in reality it's like 40.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, the Kamek shit, like, once again, if I could just skip the Kamek shit and then skip the part where they pick somebody, well, I mean, that part's fine.
It's like all the tutorial shit that I don't like. It's just, it's so wordy.
Yeah, every time I open a map, Toad has to fucking outline how the map works.
Here works. You gotta follow the arrows, Charles.
I know. And somehow I still don't fucking understand it.
I know.
But yeah, it's dumb. I think some decisions are just like, I wish they went back and fixed some things, but they never will. I know they won't.
They probably won't.
They're probably working on Super Mario Party 2, or hopefully working on the bundle I was talking about previously.
I think they dropped it. I think the last thing was the update, and that's it. Because I'm pretty sure they relegated like the fucking D team to this project too.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's just like you're working with like people who are probably this is probably the first game they're actually really programming for, or modeling for, and like making.
I will say the game looks nice. I like it.
It's excessively pleasing, but some things just look like very very sharp polygons, and that's one of the things where it's just like, yeah, it makes sense for like a size thing, but as like a game, I expect this to be kind of smooth. Because like within like 3D, right, the amount of polygons dictate how smooth something is.
Yeah.
The more you have, the more smooth it is, but the higher processing power it needs to render. Well, a bunch of times, right, all these models are hooked up to one little thing, so there's no point to like do that. You could just add subdivisions to everything and be fine.
Yeah. I think that, if this is the D team's work, then overall, then that's fine.
Mediocre.
I think they did fine, I guess, for initial release then, but it's like, certain things has bothered me. And for a game series as long as Mario Party, it's like, I wish they did a little bit more, but...
It's Mario Party. It's like, you're going to play with your friends, you're going to be happy about it, you're going to fucking kill each other afterwards, so... It's
definitely a thing you could put on. I definitely feel like it's fine for, like, putting on for, like, an hour or two with your friends and then moving on to something else.
Yeah.
I think it's, like, a definite, like, I would say, yeah, I mean, should I say you should buy it along with, like, other games like Smash Bros?
I'd say wait for it to go on sale, or use your, like, gold points for this. Don't buy it out, or buy it used. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it new.
Yeah.
There's no point to. It's a 3-year-old game. It should be on sale currently. Honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo games, like once it hits like the 3 to 4 year shelf mark, it should automatically discounted like by 10.
20%. Yeah.
$10 to get it down to like at least $49.99.
Yeah.
Plus tax, because like. No one's gonna pay for like a 3-year-old game full $60.
That has no updates.
Exactly.
And,
unless it has like a DLC or it's like a deluxe edition. then you should keep it at the normal price because that's something that's a limited time thing, blah blah, that kind of stuff.
But once again, they haven't done anything with it.
So. Nintendo games rarely go on sale for some reason. People know they're gonna buy it.
Oh, Nintendo.
I want to play Pokemon Snap though. I need to get it, but I already spent like my monthly allowance on other things like Pokemon cards, which funny enough, Target is stopping stocking Pokemon cards recently.
Really?
Yeah. So a fight broke out, I think in Wisconsin or something about that. Somewhere in the Midwest. Some guy had a gun on him, and like some guys were trying to beat him up, and like he's like, yeah, no, back the fuck off. It's not that meme where it's like, somebody called the ambulance, but not for me. And I was just like, fucking Christ, that's hilarious. But yeah, that's a whole shit show. So Target stopping the sale of Pokemon, MLB, and that kind of stuff. Not Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are different where the money is in the playability of the cards, while Pokemon and
we're the gentlemen.
MLB are like more of like the collectability and standpoint.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Gentlemen are like, barbarians.
I know. It's one of those things too where just like everyone's kind of scared because like if Target stops selling stuff like that, then it's like, oh, where normal people gonna get the cards? Like, it's a lot of normal people.
Card shops.
No, people know about card shops. There are tons of card shops around in like your area. You just need to look hard enough for it. I buy all my shit from the collector's store.
Hey.
Hi, Miss Callahan. How are you?
Hey,
Hello.
so Dad and I are just trying to drop the waters at. Oh,
yeah, you can be this one.
Come on in.
how exciting! Special guest.
Introducing Mrs. Callahan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my mother, Kathy Callahan. Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Great.
We're just dropping the waters at coming in house, and then we're going to the Home Depot.
Great. Is it okay if we have some Diet Coke and
You help
Snapple?
yourself to whatever you want.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Put them
You're
some in the
always
fridge.
welcome here.
Thank you.
I want
Thank
that.
you.
I want that recorded.
That's recorded. It's recorded.
All
right.
recorded.
You don't need to write.
I don't
That's
even.
right.
It's verbal.
All
In the state of California, that's a legal contract.
That's right. That's right. Wait a minute. No, help yourself to anything snacks.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Mom.
I got. See you in a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kathy Callahan, my mother.
That was
Greatest person in the world.
really
and
special person. Really
love
nice.
her so.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's just like not a lot of people know about like online stores that aren't Target and Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's like me probably knowing like people are probably going to buy more through our local shops, but we don't have a local shop where we live, so I have to travel to either New York or further
Stanford,
upstate to Connecticut. Not even Stanford has a local shop.
Really? I thought
There's no local shop
Oh.
like card wise for like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. It's all like in New Haven area in
Wow.
Southington, which sucks because that's like a
someone should capitalize on
half-hour
that.
drive.
That'd be
And that's what I want to do. I was like, hey, if I could, because Pokemon's a big thing for French kids. Because like, if I could open up a shop down here, I would make bank on.
Absolutely.
That's
We're all
something I should
losers here.
That's something I should look into. Get into the fad now to support the shop, and then make up later the loss or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fucking space down in Greenwich now that's for lease because a lot of shit like fucking went out of business. Like Chili Bear went out of business.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it makes
A lot of space on
there's
the
a lot of space on the avenue, a lot of space down on Sound Beach to like kind of do shit and stuff. And it was like, I don't want to open a store down there, and like, because the Chili Bear space is really nice, and if you a lot of shelving like I would put up would be behind the counter just because it's all the cards and like, you don't want people stealing that shit.
Yeah.
So it'd be all behind the counter.
Also, put beside no guns allowed.
Exactly, no guns allowed, and you have to leave your bags at the door or whatever. And then you go to locals, and then you make your money that way, and you charge $5 for entry fee, and then each player will get like a one pity pack, and then winner would get like three packs overall, which is the standard for
rules,
OTSs. Yeah. That'd be fun to do, but that's like a later.
Plus, it'd be right by the city too, which people could just hop on over.
Hop on the train, come back down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's right on the train line too, so it's not that far to like walk.
Yeah.
The problem is that the issue about that is just like kind of like getting the hours in, because for like at least an item for this Konami to open up like their like OTS, which is the official tournament store, you need to have like a track record of having people constantly coming in playing Yu-Gi-Oh, have a Yu-Gi-Oh shelf by itself, and then you need to have an outdoor sign, which one of those things where it's just like in order to have an outdoor sign, you need to have a permit apparently.
Oh boy.
Which is weird because like it's your own storefront. Why would this be like overall like why would you need an outdoor like sign to like show like even though you have your logo or typeface on the
It's very strange.
on the thing, which kind of sucks, but it's what it is.
Probably a strange rule that just didn't get removed. But It's crazy that someone would pull a gun out. It's just, I can't, like, imagine you just go to get, like, I don't know, some fucking beachwear for your nice vacation, and all of a sudden you see two idiots in a fucking Target fighting over a plastic card. I'm just like,
no, this Charizard's mine. It's like fucking 5-year-olds.
Idiot uses gun.
Hey, dude, this is literally camp.
Super effective.
Because the thing about that, right, is that when I used to work at camps and stuff, like Pokemon would be banned just because people wouldn't be able to play with it correctly, and they would be trading. You know, like, oh, this person traded me this, but I don't want this anymore. And I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm not going to force a kid to get you. You made this decision. Brother. It's a trading card game. Literally, it's in the word TCG. Like, come on, kid. You should be smarter about that.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you get cheated out of a Pokemon card, you're dumb, honestly.
You told me this Pot of Greed was really cool, but why? This isn't even a Pokemon.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, these kids are probably too dumb to realize this, but like they need to learn the hard way, which is a good thing because they know then like they're not going to be trading it anymore. Which is also one of those things where it's like if you let the market kind of settle itself out, it will settle eventually, just not in the time you want it to.
Yeah, I think just overall it's the supply and demand thing.
Yeah, it's also that too because like once like as Vivid Voltage and like that kind of stuff and the Champion's Path hit shelves. Everything immediately was sold out just because like the whole Pokemon like Jake Paul craze.
Yeah, that.
And
that
I was just like, Christ, these fucking idiots just hyping up something that's not even worth their time. Because it's only like a perfect grade, Amazing Charizard and Amazing Pikachu would only go for like a top 500. Yeah. Not even, which is fucking weird because I pulled both of those cards within the same day.
Brag.
I know, humble brag, but like that's the way it is.
Yeah. No. I mean. It really, like, if you love the Pokemon series, in my mind, it's like, if you really love the Pokemon series, you just want to experience more of it, then I guess it's fine. But for me, it's like, I only play the games, so You don't really care about the cards? No, not really.
I think you enjoy the card game, though, because it's a lot more simpler than Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's more like a turn-based battle.
Well, the fun thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that, like, there's just, everyone's got some wacky, crazy bullshit. And everyone's pretty much overpowered. That's the thing. It's like, if everyone's overpowered, that kind of balances out a bit. But it's like, it's super fun, because it's like, I'd rather have a game that has, like, a ton of shit to it, rather than one that's
kind of niche and
shallow.
Like, very, very like linear gameplay wise.
Yeah, and you can't experiment as much. Like,
I mean, the same thing can be said about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like there are like decks that are meta, which are like everyone plays these decks. Yeah, yeah. But like it's not. It's like one of those things where it's like your worst cards can do decent against something else.
But if you're having fun, then it's like I'd rather have that with a game that allows you to do more than. But I will. I mean, if you ever show me someday, then I'll.
I should get you online with the automated.
But the real fucking
simulators,
best game ever, fucking Beyblades, boys. Let's go.
Beyblades. Okay.
Bakugan, no.
Yeah, Bakugan is actually making a comeback for a long ass time.
I was wondering if
which is really interesting. Which is one of the things because like we grew up like that's a 2010, like 2008, 2010
cool.
thing, which came out a decade ago.
Yeah.
But then it had this like little resurgence, like to be like a more of a card game.
I was thinking like I don't know what the rules are anymore. I've always just threw it out. It's like
whoever higher like power points won.
Oh.
And that's how it worked. Is like you would roll out because they had those numbers etched in on like on the side somewhere, and they were just like, okay, once you roll, each player faces out like a card or whatever. You both roll onto it. Then if you both roll onto it, it's a battle. So if you flip that card over and like each one has like a different average number of points. Like if like a fire type gained like 100, but a water type would lose like 100.
Oh, okay.
Which is really interesting, but like I'm not going to invest money into that because it's kind of like prepackaged goods. It's not like a deck.
Bring back all the '90s games. All right, bring back all the '90s fucking trading card games. Other than let's bring back Chaotic. We should bring back.
I have Chaotic cards.
I do too.
It's one of those things where it's like my friend got me into that because he was big. The reason why I got into card games is like my friend like in elementary school. His brother was big into like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, and like we kind of like delved into that a bit. And then he was like, my friend who was younger than him kind of picked up Chaotic, and then we both played that. And I was like, okay, this is fun. And then we were kind of like, okay, let's go back to Yu-Gi-Oh because it's a lot less complicated at that time. Because when I got back when I first got into Yu-Gi-Oh, Synchro Monsters were the big thing, and that was fine, which is the white cards. It's like okay, neat. It's just like one of those things where I just like I just like would like to do certain other things like with cards, you know, because like I do the card opening channel, which is also interesting because I did collaboration with a Scottish YouTuber, Treeborn Frog, and then I got invited to a like a big Discord server with all like the YouTuber creators, which is really cool.
Cool.
And then I've been talking to people and be like, yo, hey, what's going on? I watch like your content, that kind of stuff. Because it's like one of those things where it's like, as a content creator, you watch other things, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't, you always comment and like stuff, right? But you don't have that one-to-one connection with the content creator, rather than like, inside this Discord server, right? We have the one-to-one connection with each other to collaborate, resource share, and that kind of stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can actually like converse and come up with ideas and plan with each other.
Yeah.
Whereas before it's like, you just be like, oh man, it's so cool, I wish he'd done this, or I wish I could talk to him. Where it's like, now you can actually
do it.
Yeah, meet with those people and tell them how tell them what you think. That's really neat. Let's see, what else am I thinking? I haven't played Monster Hunter Rise in a long time. It's, well, not a long time. It's been like a week.
Yeah.
I just, like, I did, like, the new event quest, but I was like, that's
What's the new event quest?
It's Gossarog and Magnamalo in one arena, and you fight them. And it's only low rank, so it's not...
Oh, it's a low rank? Oh, that's fine then. It's one of those things where it's just like...
I wish it was high rank, but it's fine.
Well, it's also easier, too, because it's a two-monster hunt.
Yeah.
So they usually balance things out, because, like, you'd think it'd be really intimidating to, like, have, like, 3 monsters going out, but not really. Once you, like, get to know, like, actually, like, the power level balance is pretty easy, so, like, the first one's gonna go down easier than the others.
Yeah. It gets... I beat Magnamalo first, and I just beat Gossarog for that, yeah. I definitely... I don't know, so you played any of the new content at all?
No, I've not been playing just because I'm going to play it on stream.
Okay.
And then 2, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't have the time to because I've been doing senior project work.
Yeah. That's fine. There's one event quest where it's, well, the arena quests can be a little tricky to time. Well, I haven't done the arena quest, but there's, like, quests in the hub that, like, are set in the arena. There's one that's, like, you have to fight...
Is it the one that you get from Utashi, from like those ones that kind of like give you certain things?
Yeah, it's like the I think it's like you. Well, no, there's some that they'll have like the speech bubble. That's like you get stuff from that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Other ones will just be like,
oh, just regular arena quest.
Yeah, just do it. Like just be
okay.
like this is like a prove yourself kind of thing. And there's one new one you get from the update, which is you fight Rajang, Magnamalo, and a certain other one that you'll see in the update. It's fucking hard as shit.
Yeah, that's
because Rajang is such a pain.
Dude, Rajang is a pain in the ass in the way where it's just like it's kind of overpowered, but like you understand like how it works once in a while.
He's kind of like a fly compared to the other ones. He just darts around the map and just blasts you with a laser, and you can't see him because you're fighting Magnamalo, and you're like, there's so much bullshit.
It's one of those things where it's like I think other monsters like that in the arena should do other damage to monsters when they do like attack like that. So it'd be kind of cool to like line it up and then try to dodge out of the way.
Yeah,
and then
have just the Magnamalo just the stab thing.
Yeah,
just
pretty
as you
much.
dodge, it hits the other one. That's kind of cool.
Because that's one of those things where it's just like it would make more sense like as a ecosystem in a way, which is one of the big parts about Monster Hunter is like it's a whole entire ecosystem that these monsters live in, and like that kind of interaction with each other is like what you want.
Yeah. And World kind of like try to do that where it's like they show like the
turf wars and stuff.
Turf wars are sick, and in this game they're also kind of sick. They do repeat some animations though, unfortunately, like Aknasom and the new monsters kind of have that, or like Aknasom. And even flying monsters get the same thing with Magnamalo, where it's like he'll jump up in the air and start.
Well, I think that's pretty much like the that's a Magnamalo kind of thing though, because like it's going against like a flying wyvern. Versus like a ground monster, so it's like one of those things where it's like it's probably just easier for them just to do the same animation, just because it's not there for long anyway. It's like what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds max. So it's like it gets knocked down, you go for the kill. It's what it is.
You go, yeah. But still waiting. I know the end of the month they're gonna release new content, which is great. I mean, that's
right. End of this month is going to be more content.
They're going to finish off the story.
That's why I remember, because like I was like, oh, I don't want to finish the story just because like I've seen the ending on YouTube. Like if they're going to expand upon it, I don't want to play the ending again. I'd rather just do it once altogether.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that for what it is, like once we get that, I think there'll be a big break for a while, because I know they're going to be adding new monsters and alongside the final boss. So that'll be interesting, like the final boss.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do a thing like Iceborne where they like add in like a whole new. I mean, they probably will.
They probably will eventually do a larger expansion, probably a year or two into life cycle. Because by a year or two, like people should be ready to like take on like G rank.
Yeah.
Because G rank has not been included inside base games for a while, just because of like how hard it is to kind of like grind for that. Because I remember I did it in Generations, and then it was like in order to get to G rank, right? You had to do certain things, like you finish all the
meet certain requirements.
Yeah, so basically, in order to get to G rank, you literally need to finish all the hub quests.
Well,
like in order to get the Hunter rank to get that high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've done that.
What else is there? I guess anime news.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Castlevania season 4.
Yes, Castlevania season 4 has ended. Did you watch it?
I watched it.
I liked it. It's like one of those things where
that shit.
It's a good ending. I enjoyed it.
Satisfying.
I was a bit confused with the whole Dracula part.
Same.
I was like, they're already dead. This is kind of like they're kind of ending together.
Yeah.
Which is very sweet. It's nice. Like,
yeah.
I didn't really expect it to happen because like it's Dracula, but like you have to realize like he did all these things for a reason, which was kind of valid in a way.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, okay, we're going this route, but then I'm like, I think back on it, it's like the series did start and end with them. So I was like, okay, that makes sense, because like they wanted to be happy and they finally are. It's like, okay, this is kind of like a, they could, it's like they ended it there, and I was like, that's fine. And I'm glad Trevor survived.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have been satisfied.
You have to continue the bloodline. You can't kill him off just yet because like you need to set up the sequels, I guess. This is the final season of Castlevania, which I'm happy about because it's a good ending.
Yes.
It's just one of those things where it's like, where do we go from now? I think
they're doing a spin-off series or something.
Are they?
Yeah, they said, I don't know what it is.
Alucard.
Probably.
Honestly, that's probably the best.
Or Isaac
option.
or Hector.
Isaac, yeah. Honestly, I think Alucard's probably the best pick because he's one of the more like interesting characters.
Yeah, he's always existed throughout the entire span of Castlevania. So
exactly. So I was like, oh, it's like Alucard throughout the ages and like whatnot.
Or maybe something to do with Saint Germain, but I mean, he's kind of.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say animation-wise, 10 out of fucking
Powerhouse
10.
is consistent. It's one of those things where it's just like, given the time and budget to just finish things, just like make it consistent. That's all you could ask for.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times within production standards, right? It's hard to like keep things consistent, especially with like when you have different directors for each episode.
Yeah.
Because each director is gonna have their little tweaks and little shit. Whereas like I want to do this, I want to do that. There's not really a lot of consistency when you have like a on-air TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have like a series that like Netflix is it's a one-to-one series where it's like beginning end. Here's the plan. And like it's all directed by Samuel Dietz and like the other woman, I forgot her name. I think Samantha something.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
It's one of those things where it's just like if you have these people just constantly like direct the episode, they're gonna have a vision. It's like the entire thing about like Star Wars Clone Wars. Everybody likes it because it's consistent. There's no fucking backtracking. There's no fucking.
You know you're gonna get, and you.
Exactly, because you know it's Dave Filoni directing this. You know how he works, and it's one of those things where it's like it's like Star Wars, right? The sequels where the second movie backtracks on a lot of shit, and then the last movie tries to forward a lot of that backtracking to get where it was.
It's very reactionary.
I know it's one of those things where it's like you need to make sure you have a game plan going in, which is one of those things where it's like for me, my senior project is a fucking like I'm doing a whole mini documentary just to make sure I'm doing shit consistently and correctly. Because right now I've done all the boards, I've done the design work and stuff. I need to get done the animatic and like the full like line work of the shots, because that's the hardest parts for me to do. Is just like the kind of find the time to sit down and be consistent about the line work and like all the drawings, because like I feel like overall consistency will go a lot farther than like off the walls bouncing animation, you know?
Yeah. You gotta just make it like stylized.
Stylized, yeah, because it's one of those things where
too crazy.
So it's one of those things, right? So it's like me personally, I was like, I don't want to make it like I'll have really cool shots and stuff, but like it's all gonna be consistent within the style and work. Because it's one of those things where I feel like overall, and sometimes in anime,
they can sort of lose the budget and instead send the budget to battle scenes.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like you put the budget towards things that you actually need it for.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's like it's consistent. You can get more animators on. Like it's less time consuming for certain things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that a good example of what you're talking about would be like Dragon Ball Super and seasonal anime comparatively. Like I know Dragon Ball Super previously was not seasonal; it just kind of kept going.
Yeah,
and I think the problem with problems with that was it was just like the budget and the consistency of the quality.
No. The original problem about that was they put all the inexperienced animators and like all the like newbies on the project, which was a fucking mistake in the first place. Because like you don't hand
a project that
you don't hand babies your biggest IP,
your golden goose.
Exactly. You don't hand a shredder your fucking.
You don't let the new farmhands handle your most delicate thing.
Yeah, exactly. You get the experienced people
to survive, and
but you get the experienced people to teach them how shit is done.
Yes, there was a lot of things I think that went into the problem with that, but to get to my point, it's just that I think if it was a seasonal thing where they had more time to send it, but like you said, like give the time and budget to it instead of just holding the budget for specific action scenes. And I get it. It's like people in Dragon Ball expect there to be like really good action, but even some parts of the action weren't consistent. You'd have artists that like in episode 4 or like the meme where it's like he's trying to punch Beerus and it's super like disgusting.
I think it's one of those things where it's like it's a shitty still frame people picked on because like when I watched it back, it looks decent enough because like it's super far away.
Yeah, animation is all about metamorphosis. It's like
it's one of those things where it's just like the posing's correct. He's winding up for the punch. It's just that it's just kind of poorly drawn, which is just like it's
not as detailed. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things though, because like it's not as detailed just because it's just super far away. Because when you look at the frame layout, right, King Kai's planet is like kind of like it's like kind of like the lower third of it. And then they just kind of take up these like two little spots like inside the middle part of the frame. I'm just like, to me this is fine. It's just like I think they could have spent a little more time just with the anatomy. Yeah.
And then also maybe some expression work, but
which is fixable. That's fixable. Yeah, that's one of the things which is fixable. It's not complete utter garbage. Utter garbage would become like smears everywhere, and you wouldn't be able to tell what's fucking going on.
Did you hear that they're making another movie?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know what it's about.
I think they would probably.
I think it might be a little early, unless they want to do it about Broly. And if it's about
Broly 2, I guess.
I'd be okay with it if it's Broly 2. I think
they
the
should
needs a little bit more time if they want to do.
No, because like Moro's already over. I think if they just do the entire Moro arc, that'd be fine. Yeah. Just rewrite it to fit into the Super timeline.
And then just set up for the next time, I guess, and then the thing is, like, I just want the next arc to finish, and then I'd be okay with that, because then at least we'd understand the lead-in, or we'd have something to lead into, a full complete story set for that. Because I like the new arc, because the new arc's pretty cool.
Yeah, with the
Ceruleans and granola. These names, man, they're starting to get to the bottom of the barrel here. But that's fine. I hope Reese's Puffs makes an appearance.
Reese's Tricks.
Captain Crunch. That's
Captain Crunch.
Just the ultimate power.
That'd be kind of funny to actually see like a character named after like a cereal brand.
Just all the cereal brands come together.
I think Kix is a good one. K-I-X.
The fucking rabbit from.
Tricks, Kix, and Kix.
Yeah.
I think Tricks and Kix is probably a really cool name. It's like they're twins,
Yeah. They do like a back-to-back thing.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny to watch, but...
Do the Genyu Force fucking pose.
But in other news, the Komi-san has a communication order, is getting an anime. It's finally getting anime next year. So you know what that means? It's got to be ending soon. Inside the manga, it's probably wrapping up sooner or later.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to the point where it's just like, we know they are. It's just
you finally said it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like she acknowledged it, and
they're both fucking idiots. And then
hell yeah, dude, it took so long.
Dude, they pulled the rug underneath me because I was like the Minagi part. I'm just like yes, because I like Minagi. Cause, like, she's a way better character overall than Komi. Just because it's such a more complex character.
Yeah, but and the part where he said, "Oh, sure," and I was like, "Oh,
I don't mind." Yeah,
but then like.
She was like, she gotta dig her own grave and be like, are you sure you wouldn't regret it?
Yeah, at least like he wasn't being honest with himself.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's fair. And it made sense. Of course, we already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It'd be very different if that changed. But yeah, I think that it's going to be ending soon, and I'm fine with that because it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a pretty good run, and I like it a lot. It's so crazy. Like the beginning of the series was kind of like totally different. I remember like the main character like got kidnapped, and there was some like crazy shit in the beginning.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit like sometimes happens inside Komi-san.
Yeah.
Because like it's the fun that Tadano gets like fucking kidnapped by the other boys sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like it's like a cult thing too, and
It's
just
so
like
funny.
yeah.
It's a good series.
I enjoy it.
I'd highly recommend
I'm excited for it because it looks decent.
I read the newest chapters for Ascendance of a Bookworm.
How is it?
It's very good. Some people are complaining. They're saying it's like, oh, it's repetitive. Like, have you ever watched an isekai? Have you ever watched or read an isekai? It's
I don't know.
like,
It depends on what you read.
yeah, no, I get it. But I think, like, comparatively speaking, wise, it's like leagues above all the trash that I've read before. And it's a lot more interesting.
But reading of a healer, Charlie. That's probably the best one.
Yeah, it is. It is the best one if you're looking for porn.
Snuff, honestly. It's one of those things where it's just like
It's porn. It's revenge porn. That's the best way I can describe it. And I can't believe I've read I've read a lot of it. And I feel ashamed. And I'm like, this is not it. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's good, and I think that Descendants is, I think so far my favorite. I mean, Jobless Reincarnation is also really good. I've read all of that, and that's been a ride.
yeah.
It was interesting because people complain about the perviness in that series, and I totally understand him grooming that. I was like, that's a little,
it's a
much.
little. Well, it's one of those things, right, where he's the protagonist. You don't necessarily have to like him. He's not supposed to be the hero. Where it's because like there's a difference between a protagonist and a hero. Because a protagonist is someone like
we follow along
Deadpool.
The story. Yeah.
Protagonist is Deadpool,
Well,
while the
Light
hero
Yagami.
is Luke Skywalker.
Light Yagami is protagonist.
Exactly.
And
I hate people who's like, oh, like they get confused between a hero and a protagonist. I'm like, that's obviously not the fucking point you're trying to make. Because a hero is like someone like Deku who's trying to be good.
yeah.
We're trying to see his journey of becoming the best, rather than a protagonist is just kind of like we're along for the ride and we're going to see how it falls out.
Yeah. Protagonists are people. Heroes are icons.
Exactly.
Basically like that. And for what it is, I think the main character's fine. He gets better. Like, I think what really changes the game is that one moment where everyone fucking, like, teleports, spoilers, everyone teleports all across the country or all across the world. And that really, like, it was like, what the fuck? This is nuts!
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really cool, and he matures a lot, and he does change. Like, eventually, like, it all kind of collapses in the end. He ends up alone, which I'm like, this is actually kind of sick.
It's interesting. It's new.
It's new, and then he can't get an erection in the new arc. That's it. It's like that's his heart. That's the problem. That's it. That's the problem he's facing.
He's having ED problems.
It's like he asks everybody. He's like, can you like help me fix this? I can't get a boner. And I'm like, okay, man, this is an interesting take. He's like,
you know what would help him? Our sponsor, Blue Chew.
Dude, well, it's like
we're not sponsored by Blue Chew. We're not sponsored by Blue Chew. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Well, it's just now it's like it went from a regular looking or seemingly isekai thing to then a like journey across the world, and then like now it's like a high school college type deal, school life. And I'm like, this story's going everywhere. I like it though. And to think it's like one of the original stories that spawned isekai is very interesting, and the fact that this author like goes in so many routes is very interesting. I say interesting a lot, people. It's my word. But games wise, back to games for a little bit. We're still on anime. Anime wise, I haven't finished Megalobox just yet. I want to go to what was it? Is it Vagabond or no? That's not the name of the sequel series. It's Nomad. This is Megalobox Nomad.
Yeah.
I gotta finish Megalobox and get on to Megalobox Nomad because
I've been watching Nomad. It's interesting. It's like one of those things where it's just like it's there.
it's psychological. It's not like
I guess it's more of like one of those things where it's like kind of the after show and like kind of stuff. I really don't think that it necessarily needed a sequel because the ending was fine enough where I was like, this is happy. It's a 50th anniversary for Ashina Joe project, so I don't really think it should have continued on in the first place, but it's fine with how it is.
Yeah. I think Megalobox is like one of the better Netflix series I've seen in terms of anime wise.
It's not even Netflix.
Isn't it? I don't know.
No, it's not Netflix.
Well, I'm just saying it's like one of the better ones I've seen on Netflix, where it's just like the story's very simple. It's a good underdog story with a really cool look. And I think like if you have the time, totally watch it because it's really cool.
I think it was done by TAS. I think TAS Animation, which does the Lupin stuff. So.
Yeah, that explains it.
If you get a lot of charm with a lot of characters and stuff. I think the same character designer for Megalobox did the same character designs for Part 5 of Lupin. But I'll double check.
That's cool. Yeah, that might explain a lot. The character design from this shit looks so good. The animation in general looks really, really good. I mean, well, certain parts could be good. Some parts could look a little like slow, but I think people complained about some parts of the art, like the backgrounds and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, it's TMS, which is the one that does all of Lupin.
But I think like overall, that's pretty cool. I think that overall, it's like I don't know, it looks fine. It services the story fine. It doesn't bother me in any way. Maybe because I just don't have an eye for art. But then why am I going to art school?
You're doing animation, Charlie. You don't need art because someone else will do it for you.
That's right.
You just need to draw pictures.
Picture 1, picture 2. But yeah, I think that I just love the series because it's simple and it looks good. It's pretty much the best way I could describe it. But otherwise, series that I've been watching, tried. I watched the first episode of Zombieland Saga Season 2. That was okay.
Like I said, it's there. It's there. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like people who overhyped it up probably have never seen idol anime before.
It's fine. It's
because compared to Love Live, right? Like this is like kind of your.
I do like the comedy in Zombieland Saga more though, and I kind of like the characters a little bit more because they're goofy. I mean, some of them are goofy. I like the manager a lot.
Exactly.
But yeah, Zombieland Saga feels more like a cartoon than
like it's more of like a comedy rather than a drama. Even though it tries to fit drama pieces in, it kind of sort of doesn't fit just because like how it kind of sets itself up.
Yeah, it was very strange. It changes tone a lot, and I'm like, that's not what I was expecting. But I mean, it what it is. I like it fine. It's there. Yeah, otherwise, I don't think I've seen anything else recently. Still caught up. Let's see. Saw the new chapter for JJK, and One Piece, and My Hero, all doing great. I had this one crazy thought about One Piece, like a quick One Piece theory. I mean,
Did you see the latest chapter of One Piece?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I had this One Piece theory that the red line is the red poneglyph, like the last one. Because I was thinking, like...
it's somewhere on the red line.
Yeah, like, well, I guarantee you, that's where, like, it's definitely up where the celestial dragons are, on the top of it. Yeah. That has to be where it is. And I know some people might complain about that, like them going back and doing that, but I totally believe at the end of this arc, Luffy's gonna be tired out as shit, and then the CP0 will just take him and send him for execution.
Could be.
That's what I'm thinking anyway, because that will lead back to the celestial thing, and that's where like the rebellion's happening with Sabo, and I feel like all those elements will come together there, and then they'll do like a mad dash toward the end. That'd be kind of interesting if they did that. And then like that'd be kind of like a big fatal clash with the Marines, and that like also lead in with Blackbeard as well. So it'd be kind of cool, and you could explore more. You finally get to learn more about that society besides what we saw in the Reverie arc.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it kind of gets dropped like halfway through like something like you expect to pick it up later, but then again, you never know.
And, like Wano is so long and it's so big. There's so much going on. It's like we gotta save it for later. You know, we can't let that bother us for right now. Like let's finish Wano and just move on. But yeah, I definitely think that since the next one will be the last one, I mean it has to. Like we have to go there. And there's like we've been having hints and shit and seeing all that. We kind of have to see it and see Luffy wreck the shit out of it. That'd be kind of fun. That's what I'm thinking. Like if the red line is the final one, that'd be interesting to see because like if the text was there on the bottom, they're like, oh shit. But yeah, I mean that's my quick One Piece theory. And then yeah, JJK is going fine. It's going the way it usually does. People dying, badass action, all that.
My Hero's interesting right now. It's getting to the point where it's just like this is probably the final battle kind of thing. You're probably got like another 50 to 80 chapters left of that, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I think
Deku at this point has reached probably his
pinnacle, and like probably the last 80, one 90%. He's gonna go full out.
Yeah. He's gotten to a point now where he's like really OP. And I know the movie's coming out, another one.
Third one.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably going to be the end of it, because I think Kohei wanted only like 2 movies, if anything.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that. I think I've seen all 2. Yeah, I've seen both of them. Yeah,
We've seen both of them. We saw the first one together, and then
I saw the first one with...
No, we watched the second one together when I
saw the first one with my friend. I saw the first one with Ben, and I saw the second one with you. Now the third one I have not seen. But
yeah, because it's not out yet.
It's not out yet, though. And then I think... Did we watch Broly together?
Yeah, we watched Broly with your friend Zach, the other Asian guy.
Yes, we did. That was a good time.
We went to the theater. I remember because I saw it in Japan right when I was out there. Because that's the thing that I watched. I got fucking stupid drunk off Strong Zero. Went to the movie theater in the Toho Cinema down in Roppongi or whatever. And then I was like, oh, I'll get, because like I misread the time because it's inside of military time. Because it's 1:04. I misread that as 4 p.m. But they had like a showing for like the Love Live movie like at earlier, like when I like arrived. So like it was like I missed the first showing of Dragon Ball. So I was like, oh, we'll see the Love Live movie, then still see Dragon Ball afterward. And damn, was that a good choice?
Yeah, it worked out well.
I really think you should watch the entire series, but then again, half the animation kind of sucks in the beginning because they was finding its identity. Mm-hmm. But we'll watch little bits and clips of like all the music videos and stuff because like it's really funny to see all the entire evolution of how like the stylization came to be.
That's cool. It's cool to see that development too.
Exactly, it's good to see that style. It's like just watching JoJo's because like you know how it begins, but like as you see it progressing, you know like how it kind of gets stylized.
Yeah, I like stories like that. I like shows like that sometimes where it's like you see them like low budget and then like as they go along and they get better and perfect their craft. It's like that's kind of how Rooster Teeth's whole thing works. It's basically like how Red vs. Blue worked and Ruby worked. Basically, it's like they.
I don't know. I think Ruby went downhill after like season 4.
Well, yeah, no, season 3.
I don't think there's much to do inside of that. I think that
apparently
it's over. It's all pandering.
Apparently, it's ended.
Like fully ended. Like no more seasons.
I think so.
Alright.
I think it was like 8 seasons. I've been thinking about going back.
Crab Ray, Ruby is dead.
We should just do like a get drunk and watch Ruby.
I don't want to watch Ruby. I know it's kind of straight from the path of what it was going to be.
It might
because Monty had a very specific direction of like what he wanted. I think they just fucking flanderized and like made it very generic.
Yeah. They took the safe route.
Yeah.
What pissed me off the most though was just like the Bumblebee shit. It was just like, you guys, there's no reason for this to happen. You just forced them to do that. It makes me so mad. But it's how it is. Like, fans can be the worst.
It's like, I remember the last thing I ever saw like a clip of it was like they have a genie now, and it's like, it just seems like something that's something that would seem like that's probably like a one-off like season kind of thing.
That's a plot MacGuffin. let me tell you right now. I know what that is. It's a plot MacGuffin shit, and it's
Just shit. Honestly, I think
it's more fuel for the rule.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of happy that AT&T kind of sold off Rooster Teeth for kind of scrap because they didn't know what they're fucking doing.
Remember their show with David Tennant, the mecha one?
The one that was kind of garbage, and they had to sell to Toonami.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was sad because I actually kind of like that a little bit.
I don't know.
David Tennant's my man.
I'm very indifferent to all the 3D shit they do. I think the 2D stuff is probably where they succeed.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's just like looking back on it, the 2D stuff is probably one of the more like better stuff because like some of the 3D inside there looks very bland, and generic. It looks like they took models from Genshin Impact, like the NPC models from there, and
fucking Iron Man, Iron Adventures.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it's like I understand like modeling 3D characters is hard, but like it's one of those things where it's like you don't need to necessarily make them bland and generic.
Yeah.
And I think they fucking shot themselves in the foot too by getting this expensive voice cast to voice them, while they could just like, get like David Tennant and a couple other people who are like good. Yeah. I don't think they need Michael B. Jordan. I say Michael Jordan. I'm not talking about the basketball player. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor too, but I just don't think he
I like the setup too. I mean, I like the idea that the main character's kind of like
dead, but not dead.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. He's got a handicap. I appreciate characters with handicaps like that. But yeah, it's weird. It was a cool concept, but I think that they just didn't have the budget to keep up with it. And I think now that
you should read my script, my script about teenagers fighting kaiju and aliens.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Have you ever read Kaiju number 8?
Yes,
it's
really good. I like it. It's one of those things where it's like I'll wait for like 3 chapters to come out because like that's what he does. He does 3 chapters, then he does like a little illustration, and then that's like 2 volumes. You do that twice. That's 2 volumes right there. So I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna nag on him because like it's hard to write something that's good and like how the illustration that good. It's one of those things where it's like I expect more out of Jujutsu Kaisen just because how simple the backgrounds are. When compared to like My Hero Academia, like and Dragon Ball, One Piece, like it's very elaborate. I just think that there could be more.
Yeah. I think that's the problem though with Shonen Weekly in general. Is this like artists don't like they're on a tight schedule. Whereas
they like also have their teams though. It's one of those things where it's like they have teams to do it. I think someone who's very naive and very strong-headed who would say I don't need people to do my backgrounds or screen tones don't really undervalue the entire thing. I get you have a vision, that's fine, but you need to have teams behind you to help pick up the slack.
Yes, you can't do everything yourself. You could, it would just take a long time.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that's why manga or Shonen Monthly is a very cool thing.
Jump Plus, yeah.
Yeah, Jump Plus is really cool because it just gives artists more time, like Spy X Family, Kaiju number 8, like it just gives them more time to work on it, and without killing themselves, which is nice. I think it's a smart way to go nowadays because it's like
Well, Jump Plus is also one of those things where it's just like it's made for sort of like the older teenagers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Shonen Jump Plus
stuff, true gamers.
A lot of Shonen Jump Plus is made for like older audiences. While that's why it's called Jump Plus because it's Jump. It's not Jump More. It's for an older audience because it's plus their age. Because I do think the average Jump reader would probably be the age of
15, 16.
Not even. I'd say 10-year-olds would even buy and read
Meanwhile, in fucking America, we get like the kiddiest of kiddiest shit.
Yeah.
Unless you watch Clone Wars shit.
It's one of those things too where just like I feel like the people who make the argument of like, oh, animation's for kids would choose animation that is for kids and not have like a whole entire scope of it. Because there's a lot of animation that's out for adults, like Wolf Walkers is pretty like all range kind of stuff. Clone Wars is pretty all range, even though it was like made for
kids.
Children's Television Network. Like even after that, it's just one of the things where it's like there are still adults can find animation pleasing as well as like entertaining, not just for kids, you know? Because of the shit like animation for kids is like the whole Minions debacle, right? Because it's made for kids, right? Like that animation's made for kids, but like look at other things other than that, like you will see that there are multiple animations that are for adults too.
Yeah. Before let's finish the kaiju and everything. I just want to talk about Clone War or the Bad Batch real quick because they're like talking about like age and maturity wise. Like there was the latest episode had a moment that was like very much like Okay.
I don't know. Like the spoilers when the moment Crosshair shoots the other soldier. Yes.
No. It's like when they shoot the civilians. Like that was.
Yeah, no, I expect that because it's
Yeah.
the stormtroopers. We know how the Empire works. Like
Yeah.
we've seen this
It's
before.
a family picture.
It's one of those things where it's like I expect it to happen. Like I'm not.
Well, yeah.
It's not this really.
But
big
if you're like
deal.
a 10-year-old kid or like younger, and it's like you see, it's like about.
I really don't think they're making this for like 10-year-olds though.
No,
That's
what
the
I mean
thing.
is like if
It's
you're a
really
kid,
like
you expect
our
that.
kids like who are like 20-somethings like for adults right now, just because we've been here the longest, and this is
we know what the series is. We expect.
We know what the series is, and we're going to be spending the money on that series to watch it.
Yeah, no, he knows the target audience. I'm just saying, like, if you're a parent and you sit your kid down and be like, "Oh, this seems like a fun little kid."
It's like the Mandalorian debacle. It's like, oh, it's Star Wars, but like back in the day, Star Wars, it wasn't made for like
Dave
kids, you know. It was made for like young teens to adults in the first place.
Dave knows that the people who are watching this have watched all the shit he's made previously.
Exactly.
But he still has to have one little element to sneak in for people who have never experienced this before, and that's he has to have an excuse to be like, this is a kid's show. And that's absolutely Omega. That is
exactly, yeah.
That is absolutely what Omega's purpose is. But
what is this?
It's
called dirt.
She will absolutely get better because
she's already great. I don't understand.
I love
she's
her.
already
She's
great.
Awesome.
She's endearing.
Some people don't like her. I'm like, what are
Who
you fucking talking about?
Who doesn't like her? It's like what? It's a kid. It's a kid who's been sheltered for like the past like 10 years of her fucking life.
Yeah.
If anything, you should go outside and touch some fucking dirt. You fucking pieces of shit.
It's so cool because like, we know that last episode 2 was like how like at her lowest point. That's like how useless she is. But in reality, like she's like leagues ahead of everyone else who's annoying kid-wise stuff that we've seen in other shows.
Which is also interesting is like looking back on it, me and my friend Dylan are watching the Rebels right now, and so it's written fairly well. I don't have any complaints. Maybe as a kid,
that's right.
maybe as a kid I would have more problems with it, but as a full 21-year-old. I don't really care, and I do think the relationship that Ezra has with everyone is very endearing.
Yeah.
Like with Sabine, he's a horny teenage kid. He's got hormones. That's fine. He's horny. Blah blah blah. But like with Zed, it's more of like a brother relationship.
Yeah.
And you see that within the TIE Fighter episode, right?
Yeah.
Like it's it's building that relationship, and he even says at the end near end of season 1, like, "This is my new family. Like this is what they've taught me."
Yeah, it is cool though that the Bad Batch episode 1. It's like we see.
Caleb. Kanan.
Kanan, yeah, we see Kanan. I didn't know that was Kanan. I knew it was somebody, but I was like, who is this?
Some people got pissed off about that because people were like, "Oh, Dave Filoni is writing the extended universe." I'm like,
well,
it's not the extended universe. Just right now, it's the canon universe because it's Clone Wars. This is actually what happened. It's like what he writes is canon. Yeah. What an extended universe writes is non-canon.
Also, it's like if you could do better, please try. Because it's like, fuck off. This is his work. This is his baby. You know, he's made.
This is he wants to do it, and he's gonna do it.
He's made all of these series. He loves them all, and he'll keep making them. So it's like, fuck off. If you don't like it,
he'll probably be making Star Wars content until the day he dies.
Yeah, I mean,
D. Bradley Baker would probably make content that the day he dies, because everyone knows actors are probably almost underpaid.
I definitely think that if George Lucas, God forbid, you know, if he passes, when he passes, he'll probably give it to He'll give it to Dave, for sure. I think because Dave.
Well, I mean, he like George Lucas always sold the rights. We know this.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
but to leave someone in charge of like everything.
I think it'll be Dave. I think Dave would be the one in charge, like the head, because he knows. Well, you know, obviously we've seen his work and we know what he does, and we know how skilled.
I think you just need a person who knows Star Wars just to write it. It's one of those things where just like Rian Johnson doesn't know Star Wars. He's a great director. I like Knives Out and stuff, and Looper was fun. It's just that he didn't understand how this character works. He didn't understand that Finn was already sort of arced out already. He already saw his cause. And to have fucking Rose or whatever her name was come in and be like, no, you need to stay alive. And you're just like, that's kind of thing where it's like, you need to have some sort of martyrdom to make the rebellion go on. That's the whole point about Rogue One. The whole point about Rogue One is that we bond with these characters and see them die, that we want the rebellion to win.
I think that The Last Jedi is a mixed movie. I think what he does for exploring like the Force and the Sith and the Jedi, I think that was really cool. I think there was
that's fine. It's because it's a moral gray area. There's no right or wrong.
Yes, I think the worst part about that movie was definitely Rose, because Finn already knows how terrible war can be. I think a great person who summarized this was, shout out to Cosmonaut Picture Show, or Cosmonaut Variety Hour. I think he did a great job of explaining why Last Jedi didn't work, and seeing it in his perspective, like, that actually does make sense, because Finn already knows how bad war is. He doesn't need to be reminded of that. I think Poe should have been the one that went with Finn on that journey, and he should realize, like, hey, this is how bad it can be. You gotta fucking stop fooling around. And I think that would have helped a lot, but they just didn't know what to do with Finn. Like, throughout the entire sequel series, they just didn't know what to do with him.
They tried to do the whole entire, like, oh, last thing I'm forced into, I'm like, fuck off. It's one of those things where it's like, if Finn died at the last bit of The Last Jedi, and Rose saw that, Rose would have now an agenda to fight, because she was basically a fucking engineer. With her sister died bombing at the beginning of The Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, no, where it's like, because she sees Finn trying to escape from an escape pod, right? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, she has like a complete 120 of how Finn actually works and how war works. It'd be a better way to explain it that way, rather than like, no, you need to live and like kind of keep going. Because like,
the whole point of the first movie was that Finn was fighting against that, and he
he broke
better.
Free.
But then, like, we're regressing now, and it's like, why?
We're backtracking for some reason. Got off for a reason. No one knows why.
Yeah, that's not like, I get it. Like, showing it's a realistic thing. Like, you sometimes will go back on your morals that you learned. It's understandable. It's a human thing. But it's like, for a narrative, it's like, no, we can't go back. We have to, especially
you need to keep progressing.
Keep going.
You need to keep progressing at a certain point. Within games, you can do that because it's a game. You could go back to certain areas and like explore the towns and stuff. Like within a movie, it's very linear of how you need to structure certain things.
What I need to know though is that I need to know what Dave is planning to do with the sequels, because we see, is he going to try to fix the sequels like he fixed the prequels, or is he just gonna do a whole?
I think they just need to scrap the entire sequels.
And obviously, this isn't Dave's decision; it's Disney's.
I think Disney will realize that they don't need to have the sequels if they have like long running televisions like Mandalorian and. Yeah. Other things. That's what they're doing anyway. They're doing the Acolyte, they're doing this, they're doing that, and decided for Disney Plus. I'm like, that's fine. It's like Marvel, right? They're taking this like large TV stint.
I think, and I think what you're right. I think that they are doing something new is with Mandalorian season 2 ending, where like spoilers again.
Book of Boba Fett, yeah.
With Boba Fett and with Luke taking the child.
We're not going to see any more Luke
I hope
series.
not. I really hope
that was kind of the end bit where just like it fits in within the timeline, but everything else kind of fits in like afterwards, so you don't need Luke because he's only the one in a million. Yeah. Maybe if you want to get Mark Hamill to do like the final Jedi Academy thing where it's like, oh, we see a young Ben Solo kind of go fucking crazy. Yeah. I honestly would have rather watched that as a movie and see kind of like Ben Solo kind of doing that before.
How the Jedi Order, or like how Luke's school looks.
Exactly. You know what? I wouldn't mind that to be that as the first movie to have Luke Skywalker kind of come in and then
we see how that goes.
And how Ben's kind of like done this kind of thing, and Luke Skywalker goes fucking like Anakin and trying to kill him. I think that would serve as a better first movie. Then we get into Rey. Yeah. And then within that movie, we kind of sort of figure out, oh, Kylo Ren's Ben Solo and that kind of stuff, and then there's the whole shtick about that.
I also
and then we kind of have a more of like a.
The sequel series might have just been too long, or they just came out too long.
Yeah, I don't think they needed the Emperor. I think that was kind of shit.
Oh well, there's no reason for that. There was no reason for Emperor Palpatine to be there at all. And in fact, like. It was just so dumb. But yeah, Star Wars is always full of arguments and conversation. So it's like, where will they go? How will they do it? I mean, I know they're going backwards in the time period right now to the High Republic.
Which is fine. It's just that you're going to have to do something with it later on.
You see
books
Yoda
aren't
in his
going to fucking sell.
Yeah.
Trust me, no matter how hardcore Star Wars fan, the books aren't going to sell the general public on it.
No way. But I do think that they're in a good spot now, and going to this new era of going this new era of online services with long-running series is good for Star Wars. I think it expands the universe better, and I think it explores more things.
I mean, this is basically 2010, 2015, basically, when Disney actually bought Star Wars.
And
this is one of those things where it's just like they bought the rights to Clone Wars and like they canceled that, but like they did other spin-off series, which is fine. That's what I think what's happened again. Like everything happens within a fucking pendulum.
Yeah.
Whatever swings the other one way, it just gotta swing backwards.
Yeah, it's tides basically just goes back and forth, what everyone prefers. And I think, well, yeah, I mean, I also have a mix of it too. Like, not all the releases are shows, some are movies, but yeah, I think that they realized how well Clone Wars did, and they were just like, you know what? And also, like, I think two things really inspired Disney on doing this path. It was like, one,
Mandalorian.
Well, yes. Mandalorian for one, and then also the failure of the sequels. I think the failure of the sequels was the first thing, and then the brilliance that was Mandalorian season 1 really was just like, okay, this is what we're doing. And also even previously, like the Clone Wars, like they realized like, oh yeah, people like that a lot. Maybe we should give Dave Filoni more things to do.
Yeah. He's very. I think Dave Filoni is very much a workaholic. He likes to do what he wants to do.
Loves Star Wars.
He loves Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I would love to work on a Star Wars thing.
I'd love to be an extra on a Star Wars
Let's
show.
make our own Star Wars show. Let's make our own like little smuggler's den thing and be like, fuck yeah, we're just using Star Wars as a set piece for whatever we want to write.
Yeah, there's a lot of dude.
You know you're gonna make it when Disney fucking cease and desist you. I think that should be the goal. We should create our own series to get cease and desisted by Disney, but we sell that series later on to Disney.
Yeah.
Do 2D animation has a stint within the world.
Get Genndy Tartakovsky back. Let's bring him back.
Let's make a Genndy Tartakovsky timepiece.
I mean, he's still making Primal, but we'll bring him back anyway. I don't know. I don't know. Primal's still going, but yeah. What else was there? What else? I forgot. There's something else. Resident Evil 8. Still haven't played it. I know we're gonna get the Steam situation figured out.
I think I'm just gonna, after my next 2 paychecks, I'm just gonna buy it we should play through 7 first. Then play through 8 because like it's a one complete story you have to tell anyway, so might as well.
You want to just get the bundle then?
Yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do. I'm probably just gonna buy the bundle like next month.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing is like, I bought Resident Evil 8, but it's like I can't. The graphics card I have is just not up, or like the rig I currently have is just not up to snuff for that kind of thing, and it's like that's understandable because this is like a new game that requires a lot of hardware, and I think that's a problem nowadays. Is that the main focus of game companies nowadays is like higher fidelity, higher graphics. It's like
it's more of like an open world kind of thing.
The consumer can't keep up. I feel like eventually the consumer will be like, I have to pay how much money to just play this 10-hour game? Like it's like no, I'll just keep my old system and play the games that last longer. And I think that's the problem with game. I think gaming in general needs to like change focus and focus more on the art style rather than just making it look realistic. But of course, I mean, people will want the more realistic look because people will want to replicate real life more and really get immersed in it. But I feel like immersion and realism are kind of 2 different things. I feel like, and you can be immersed in the realistic thing, but you can be immersed in other stuff too. I think that games like Persona is a good example, where it's like it's a crazy art style, but you're immersed in the world, and you can experience so much more. And it's not, you have to fucking spend all your hard-earned money on a crazy, graphics card or console. I mean, it's like you can understand more. But yeah, I'm not a billionaire to summarize. I only could spend some stuff.
That's fine.
But yeah, to summarize, Gotta love that Castlevania Season 4. Gotta love that Kaiju number 8. Super Mario Party could be better. And I'm hoping for a Mario Party bundle or a Mario Sports bundle with maybe golf or Mario Sluggers. I just basically just bring back Mario Sluggers. I just want Mario Sluggers.
Yeah.
Give me Mario Super Sluggers and we're fine. We're fine. We're cool. I won't burn down Nintendo. That's all I'm gonna say. And then maybe bring back Strikers if you feel like
I
it.
think a sports one would be fine. Like Mario Sports instead of Wii Sports.
Mario Sports Mix too. Fuck it. Just bring back Mario Sports Mix. It wouldn't even be that fucking hard. Just bring them back, please. I know you hate. Hey, I know you hate bringing back the old stuff, Nintendo, but please, you don't understand. It's what we want. It's all we want.
Yeah, I know. I think that's it for this podcast. So thank you guys for listening, and we will hopefully see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Thanks for everything.